Hi friends and fellow intuitive academics, my name is Shelly and I'm an educator healer, and on this channel I draw from my intuition and my lived experience as a PhD to offer you guidance on your life path and your academic journey if you're on one. And today we're asking for a message from the moon. So at the time I'm recording this, it's just a few days before the lunar eclipse, partial lunar eclipse, um, and the full moon in Libra coming up ahead. So a lot of emphasis on the moon energies happening. And with Libra, there might be some messages coming through about balance in your life, partnerships, justice, any of those kind of areas rule Libra. But I didn't really feel like I wanted to commit to any of those themes, so I'm just leaving it a little bit more open to ask for a message from the moon. So we're going to pull 3 cards from this deck to figure out what is going to be our 3 themes that you can choose from for the reading. So I'm going to shuffle these and see what pops through. So this one's popping through first, and it's moon money. Wow, fun. Allowing the flow of abundance, and that's number 29. I'm going to get a second one. Okay, this one's coming up. This is Moon Pebbles, challenging yourself with compassion, number 27. And then our last reading will have this card, Pink Honeymoon, soothing hurt and inflammation, number 18. So you can take some time, you can pause the video if you need to, and just see what imagery or words or numbers are drawing you towards the reading. And I will see you ahead in your reading. And this is reading 1, 2, and 3. Hi, reading 1. So you were drawn to this card, Moon Money, allowing the flow of abundance, number 29. And so this is your message from the moon. It's all about allowing the flow of abundance. I think that's such a curious way of phrasing things, because you would think that the flow of abundance wouldn't need to be allowed, right? So this is really telling me that there's something kind of blocking the flow. The flow has been coming to you, and there's just something kind of in the way. And the good news is it's within your control, because it's just about you opening the gates and allowing. I'm interested that today that I'm recording your reading is actually the 29th of September, and the card is number 29. So I feel like there's something key that you could be doing right now. You don't have to wait for the moon energies to do this. There's something that you can even just start putting into works right now. And I'm like very weirdly getting imagery back from a place that I went in my teenage years that I haven't thought of in decades. I'm trying to think of why that would be coming to me right now. Just let me just kind of like sit with the energies. So this is a craft shop that I used to go to. I grew up in San Francisco, and if anyone's familiar with Castro Street in San Francisco, it's just like a nice haven to like be creative and be yourself. And I was always drawn to this craft shop that I always went into, and thinking of a time when I was there during Halloween. I'm seeing Halloween decorations, and I'm thinking of a person who worked there who helped me. And I think this was the moment that I felt like this person really saw me at a vulnerable time and saw my potential, or saw that I wanted to to create something in the world. I don't remember the interaction too much, but I just remember the feeling of being seen at a very like fragile time for me in my teenage years, and in a place where I think that I was magnetized to that street to feel like more of a sense of belonging amongst other people who felt like they didn't belong. Yeah, so, wow, that's strongly coming in as part of your message in allowing the flow of abundance. I think there's something to be said there about seeking the right environment in order to open you up to your own potentials, your own creative potentials. Maybe a key person, it could be a total stranger that you only see once in your life, but then you remember decades later that helps unlock this flow for you. Moon money, allowing the flow of abundance. Okay, so I'm gonna read the description from the book here to help you. I'm going to read the whole thing. So it includes a description and then a creative visualization that you can do for yourself, and then a journal prompt, because I want to kind of give you something to work with, especially like around the time of now and the moon, the whatever timeline you're in. The next full moon would be key, but also new moon is about new beginnings as well. But if you're allowing the flow, full moon can be good for closing up things that you're holding on to that that are kind of blocking the flow. So the key concepts for the card are healing shame around money, interesting, abundance, allowing, worthiness, and self-love. Connecting with the flow of abundance is a practice. We're not born knowing how to do this, and we are all influenced in different ways from birth by societal systems, family of origin, patterns, and beliefs. This card comes to you with the message to allow the energy of the moon money to open your consciousness around money, to see its role and the patterns clearly, to look under every rock in your belief system and clearing away what you no longer need, allowing abundance to flow to you like magic. Allow moon money to help you feel your worth all the way down to your cells. The creative visualization says, close your eyes and feel the moon above your head. This is the most loving moon you've ever felt. The moon here is to connect you to your true worthiness and abundance. Feel its warmth on the back of your body. You feel a stream of warm white light moving through your back. You feel it filling up your whole body. It's the most loving, accepting feeling you've felt. Think of a place where you feel shame about money. Allow the moon money to flow to the spot. Feel it deeply, absorbing into every cell. The moon money energy says, you are safe, you are loved, you are allowed to be filled up with money, you are allowed to be powerful with money. And then your journal prompt says, what is the story that you want to tell about your money? What is your money story? Imagine yourself in the future looking back on how things shifted for you. Can you see how you did it? Can you feel how it feels to have things more sorted out? That's interesting. So that was a little difficult for me to read because I do carry a lot of shame around money, and a lot of it is patterning from my family of origin, and also from my society that I grew up in the U.S. And there are some things that kind of creep around for me in the back of my mind, and I consider myself like a kind of empowered woman who goes for what she wants. But there are things that are always kind of clinging to the peripheries that keep me small, and it's not like there's any one person in my life now trying to keep me small, but there's these things that are just there, and they're always kind of whispering on the sidelines. And I'm sharing this because I feel like this is going to be relevant for you to start looking there, start looking at the peripheries, the things on the side that kind of just hover around and block this flow of abundance. So one of the major things for me is an inherited sort of shame around my gender, being a woman, and making money. So there's a sort of internalized message that I received early on, that I'm pretty much taking up space for other men to succeed by following my career path, by following my own academic journey. And and so there are little things that 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 messaging pops up every now and again, not so much in words, but especially when I'm faced with like important decisions of like, oh, should I like volunteer my time for this thing, trying to prove my worth, trying to prove that I am worth the money spent on me for being in an institution where like typically a man would have taken up the seat only a few decades ago. And there are other instances where I feel like I'm asking too much, right? And I'm just sharing this because I know these are really common sentiments with other women that I've talked to over the years. And it's always just hovering there. It's a little bit torturous because it's really hard to get rid of. And so this card and this message and the moon is trying to offer her help to you to help dissolve some of those bonds, those mental and emotional bonds that keep you from receiving the abundance that is meant to flow to you, that is trying to get to you. And some messages that I've been hearing for myself around shame, around receiving abundance, receiving money, is that think of it this way, that the money wants to come to you because it would be in good hands with you. You know how to use it for the benefit of more than yourself. You know how to use it to make a difference in the world, which is part of your life path that you're here to do. So if you think of the money as wanting to join you on your life path journey and the things you're meant to accomplish, that helps me at least dissolve some of the shame. So I hope it does that for you too. I want to pull in another card from this deck and see how that's shaping out the message before we get to your tarot cards. So you're getting focus. I love that they're matching here in color. Being deliberate with your attention, number 32. So this is kind of calling me back to that visualization exercise that we read in the first card, to really focus on a single area that is the key blockage that you're having with your abundance, and to really focus on doing this work at a singular time. So this is not like an everyday practice. Some messages come in and they ask you to do like daily gratitude or grounding practices. But this message from the moon is saying really focus on this key point whenever you choose to do this. And it's kind of you're going to make a lot of progress in that one instance. Focus on the key time to do this. Don't do it once, and then focus on the key point where, as go back and rewind to the visualization narration, it guides you to visualizing that one key point. Focus on that. And that's going to kind of just like, it's kind of like I'm feeling the image of like doing a massage, and there's that one tension point that when it releases, it just kind of puts the whole body back into alignment. It's kind of like that. Okay, so let me try to arrange these a bit so I can get your tarot cards in. I'm not sure how I can do it. Maybe here, yeah. Okay, so what can our reading one be guided by on their moon money invitation that the message from the moon is giving to them at this time? Any advice for their practice going ahead with this? Any expectations to look out for? So you're getting Knight of Swords, The Star in reverse, Nine of Wands in reverse, and the Queen of Cups in reverse. So with the Knight of Swords, I see this as a message to take action now, like here with the focus, use the moon energies, and take action swiftly and decisively. Um, and this is also kind of a card of focus, using focused action to achieve a singular goal. And the action that you're taking, as we mentioned here, this is very much the core of the message with the first part. This is kind of adding up a message of the benefit or the necessity of taking swift action now, is that it's just going to like turn all the rest of these cards around for you so that you can carry on and have these in your life. And it's really speaking to me of abundance in a holistic sort of sense, because you'll notice that we don't have any pentacles here. We have cups, we have wands, we have a major arcana, we have swords. There's no pentacles, which is, you know, the suit for money and physical resources. So this is really an expanded sense of abundance, all-encompassing sense of what abundance means to you. And so that makes it even more critical for you to really allow the flow, because the abundance is being blocked from more than just physical money. It's your sense of self-worth, it's your connection to yourself and to others, it's your spirituality, your dreaming space, your visioning, your hope in the world, and your boundaries with others. These are all things that factor into your definition of abundance that is being blocked, and that the moon is saying now you have a good opportunity to unblock that, to allow the flow to come back in again. So swift action, swift, decisive, focused action coming in here. Oh, this is so interesting. I literally just walked in here after watching like a kind of like a YouTube a travel channel. And the person in there went to Mindanao in the Philippines, and there was this sword that he was kind of looking at that has this curves here, just like in this sword. I am not sure what this folktale is from, so I want to read that to you actually from the guidebook if I have it. Oh, do I have it? Okay, I don't have it. Sorry, but like maybe I'll at the end of the reading I can tag on that. But let me just try to intuitively tune in here. Yeah, so I asked my partner like why is it curved, and he said that it's because it looks like a snake. So there's something key about the snake imagery and the sword here. Swords represent mental capacities, mental work, thought, and communication. And snakes represent transformation. So I'm going to take this as like transformation in your thoughts, like we said here in this card, the patterning of thoughts, and the way that you communicate with yourself is going to be the thing that helps to unblock the and allow the flow to these other things that you want in your life. So I'm going to explain it this way with the next cards. So with the star, this is something that's being blocked that you want in your life. It's hope. It's your capacity to kind of like dream and manifest and pursue and focus on a dream to the point that it really comes true. I think there's one dream in particular that you've really kind of given up on, and it's really a matter of this flow kind of not coming to you. Once you kind of reattach to that dream, you can put it in motion again, coming towards you from the universe. I really feel the Queen of Cups energy attached to that. So the Queen of Cups is like the most intuitive queen in the physical world. The in the major arcana, of course, there's the High Priestess, very like similar energies, but the Queen of Cups is more in that physical realm. So she's like an empath, and she's very connected to spirit messages, as well as in tune with herself. But since it's in reverse, it's telling me that this has been blocked for you, and this is something that really needs to come back to you. You need to come home to yourself in this way to really feel that sense of abundance of self, is the phrase coming to me. Abundance of self. Like maybe you're feeling a little hollow and placed outside of yourself. You're lost from your own body in some way. So this is going to help with that too. Your sense of self is your abundance as well. And then with the Nine of Wands, this is about defending boundaries, standing strong. I feel this as standing by your ideals. I feel like your ideals your values have been eroded in some way by external people, external circumstances, the world just kind of breaking you down, kind of like the Star card. You're doubting yourself, the Queen of Cups. You're doubting your hopes in the universe and the future, kind of things manifesting for you. And a lot of it has to do with the erosion of these boundaries. So putting your boundaries back up strong by kind of regaining your sense of self and your compass of what you stand by in the world is really going to help you at this time draw in abundance in more than one way. It does include money too, so if you need that motivation, it does include money. It includes all of these aspects holistically, like I said. I just reached down to pull another oracle card, and my thumb hit the top of the tarot deck, and it flipped off the top card to reveal this card. So I'm going to put this in your reading, the Eight of Swords in reverse. And so this is going to sum up, give a little summary from what I said before, that you are releasing yourself from staying small. Typically it's like eight of, in this figure would be surrounded by 8 swords and is kind of like blindfolded and bound and is unable to move forward. Those are like the blocks that are blocking your abundance of flows. And so typically the message here is that it's kind of about you shifting your perspective and being able to see that you do have the ability to free yourself, that the binds that are holding you now are all mental residues from something that happened before. And so it's not the same kind of issue. Now you do have the power to free yourself and to take up space, to become this Queen of Cups with the Star, this person, who fills a role in the world. I don't know exactly what that means for you in your life, but there is some kind of big role that you are meant to fill at this time. And it's kind of like what I was saying here, it's like kind of like you've felt hollowed out. It's like you need to start filling yourself out again here. Or that's what the moon is inviting you to do at this time. So I'm going to pull this healing card. It says, listen to the voice within when it persists, number 39. That really connects back to the Queen of Cups again. Like I said, connecting to yourself, your inner voice. And you can start with the voice that persists, the one who keeps repeating the same message. Sometimes it's hard to discern, maybe if you're like clairaudient or you're pretty in touch with your inner guidance. Sometimes you can absorb more than just your inner voice, but it once you can hear like the persistence of a very, I would characterize it as, it's for me, and then as I've heard for others, it's like a very kind of like almost parental, steady, loving and warm um, nudge in a certain direction. It's like a supportive, it's a feeling of being supported, but also being nudged in a certain direction. I would say start there and listen to it. Don't just ignore it. That would be the first step for you to freeing yourself, to opening up yourself to this universal flows, because it's more than just money. And you could also think of money as energy flowing to you, as I said before, flowing to you. And there's such a similarity between these cards, right? Flowing to you so that you can like take up the magic, almost the magician energy, to connect to the star again, to your hopes, to your dreams. Um, yeah. So like really just a detailed overview way of saying this is a key time for you to unblock something that has been blocking this flow of abundance, and it's been kind of like hovering over you, building up like behind a dam, and it's ready to like come through. It's just waiting there on the other side for you, this abundance. So it's really just a matter of starting small. Go back to that visualization and the journal prompts that I read. Listen to your inner voice. Give yourself focus and take action now, is really what the cards are saying. And this is all really going to start happening for you. And so that's your complete message. And I'm wishing you so much love on your journey and hoping you continue to work with love as well. Thank you for any likes, shares, subscribes, and thank you always for sharing your energy on this channel for me to read the cards. If you are drawn to another card in the pick a card section, I will see you in that reading, and if not, I'll see you next time. Hi, reading number 2. So we're asking for a message from the moon, and you were drawn to this card, number 27, Moon Pebbles, challenging yourself with compassion. It's such an interesting card. I really don't know what it's about. I've never heard of moon pebbles before. It's the first time I've drawn it, but I wanted to do an intuitive read first, and then look up the description and read it for you after that. So it really looks like a figure reaching somewhat underwater, with little trepidation, to retrieve a moon pebble, the first of many moon pebbles. So that is what I'm getting with that phrase, challenging yourself with compassion, taking small steps, maybe facing your fears, one pinky toe at a time, really small baby steps, and being compassionate with yourself the whole while, to maybe the challenge that it's giving you, rather than being hard on yourself. I would say being compassionate with yourself, about challenging yourself to grow in some way that maybe you haven't been growing because you've been holding back out of fear. The moon wants to send you a little moon pebble to get you started on your spiritual growth. I will say personal and spiritual growth is what I'm feeling. And it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pebbles here. So 6 would be a key number for you. 6, especially in the tarot, is all about kind of healing, moving on from things that were challenging or hurtful. Um, yeah, I almost want to characterize this as like healing from some sort of wound or trauma that you've gone through, that does take that sort of care and compassion and slow steps, um, but it does take a little bit of you challenging yourself to take the first step as well, um, to heal. Yeah, so you're getting a healing message already from the moon. Let me read the description to you from here. So this book comes with a description and then a visualization, creative visualization, and then a journal prompt. So I'm going to read all three so you have something that you can like take with you and work on or work with. So the key concepts here are doing hard things, small, healthy steps, and challenging self. It's easy to get overwhelmed by all of the things that we need to do in a day. Procrastination and avoidance are normal human things that we all experience. If you struggle with completing big tasks, starting something and not finishing it, or going out of your way to avoid things that feel daunting or scary, this card is here to lovingly guide you through one small pebble at a time. That's very sweet. Okay, so the creative visualization is close your eyes and imagine you are by a body of water. Think of something that you need to do that feels overwhelming, daunting, or scary. Where do you feel this in your body? Watch as that place in your body begins to glow. It glows brighter and brighter, the brightest bright light that you've ever seen. Tenderly touch your hand to this place on your body. Into your hand, out of this overwhelmed place, a stone is revealed. It's smooth and white and fits in the palm of your hand. Feel the stone and allow all of the emotions around it to flow freely. When you've felt everything you need to feel, drop the stone into the nearby body of water. Watch as it sinks to the bottom. Imagine that the task is now complete. How does this feel? And then your journal prompt says, try journaling with the part of you that feels scared and resistant to completing the difficult task. Ask it, what do you need from me? How can I best support you? What's the most loving way for me to approach this? Great. So, yeah, this is such an interesting visualization. I've never heard of something like this before, pulling a stone out of your body. I think I might try that. And it made me think of getting some kind of like tumble or palm stone. Like this is an angelite, I guess, yeah, it's a palm stone. And just something you can hold in your palm and maybe take with you on that visualization, to really give substance to that practice that you're doing. So, okay, along with this card and you challenging yourself with compassion to do the hard work, small steps at a time, breaking things down into small tasks. I want to pull another card from the same deck to see how that rounds out your message. So you're getting pink fruit, realizing your dreams, number 31. And it looks like this figure is like picking the pink fruit from a harvest, one piece at a time. It's very similar to the moon pebble. So this is very clear to me that um, the moon wants to help you overcome some sort of uh, inertia in achieving some kind of dream that you've been working towards. The tasks are getting a little bit big and daunting ahead. So if you felt like you were managing the task well before, it's kind of like you're up leveling now and the tasks are getting bigger and feel more daunting, and it's almost making you immobile, and unable to move forward. And so the moon wants to help offer you a way to move forward compassionately by just breaking these down back into those small steps, like when you started out and you were doing so confidently on this journey. It really makes me think of something like doing a higher degree or any kind of degree. It's a long game, right? And so you might start off with a lot of momentum and confidence in the beginning, but somewhere in the middle that runs out of steam, and it can be hard to get into motion again. So the moon is giving you this advice from the Moon Pebbles card as a way to get back toward realizing your dreams, getting to that harvest point. And there's number 31. I'm releasing this right before October, so I would say by the end of a month, within a month cycle, you could really have a big change in getting yourself back into motion over this one really big daunting task. And you will be just in time. You know, there's no going too fast, there's no going too slow. You are in your kind of stuck energy at the right time, and you will be able to get back into motion right at the right time too. So don't calculate any kind of like, oh, making up for lost time or anything like that. Just start slow and stay slow, and steadily go step by step forward, harvesting the pink fruit one fruit at a time before you have a basket full of your dreams. So I want to continue on your message by pulling tarot cards next. So I'm going to ask the moon, what message can you share with our reading two as they compassionately step forward towards challenging themselves in their tasks, breaking their tasks down into smaller pieces of fruit that they can claim and harvest into that larger goal. What is a message for them to bring forward? So you're getting the King of Coins. Great. And the Four of Cups in reverse, the Seven of Coins, and the Four of Wands in reverse. I love that this happened. There's a lot going on here. I want to point out this first. This Four of Cups is like an inertia card, and it popped up in alignment with the Moon Pebbles card, which was, we were talking about inertia and like being stuck, immobility. And then the Seven of Coins is a harvest card, or like kind of working towards the harvest point. And that's what we were talking about with the pink fruit. And so this is really kind of directly connecting into that initial message that we got. So it was very clear to me when I pulled the King of Coins that this is in your future. Total material success, getting to the highest status, the highest role, the highest point possible that you are aspiring to. And I love that it's a tortoise, right? It just kind of exemplifies that message of going slowly, step by step, getting to the end in your own time. This is a long-term process. You're really growing something here that has roots, that is meant to grow strong and tall and stick around for a while. And so it's a different kind of effort to put forward than maybe you're used to before. It's really going to take that long-term step by step. So going forward slowly, as long as you're going forward, is all that you need to do. It's exactly what you need to do right now. And so the other thing I wanted to mention is that there you have two fours here, and fours represent stability. And so they're in reverse. So your message is coming through about upturning or releasing some sort of stability in your life. So releasing some sort of commitments, existing commitments that you have that may be distracting you or pulling your energy away from your bigger dreams, your bigger tasks to achieve your dreams. Releasing those is going to help. Some of these you might have made as a procrastination move. You might have committed to some smaller fun tasks that you know you can do. Maybe to give yourself some like self-confidence, which is all good, but it's also kind of it can be a way of procrastinating to kind of avoid doing this bigger task that you have in front of you. So releasing that is part of your message. And then kind of getting yourself into motion, accepting an opportunity that's being handed to you right now to do directly with this bigger task, this bigger dream. So if something comes up, and like say two things come up. One is like the fun thing, like maybe like an ultimate frisbee team was looking to recruit you. And yes, you definitely want to say yes to that, but kind of think twice about whether that's a procrastination that's going to distract you from your achieving your bigger dreams. Um, and then there's another cup coming forward here, which is like, say it's like a writing group or a study group that is being offered to you to join, that will help you towards your degree. And the thought of it, I can feel this, so this somebody's definitely feeling this. The thought of that is overwhelming in itself, even though it's an offer of help. It's like you just don't want to open the book. You just don't want to go there. So you're gonna be faced with a difficult choice, and I think you will be able to figure this out for yourself. But doing something like this, joining a reading group, is that small pebble, is that small step of challenging yourself with compassion and possibly with support from others. So there are ways to make this path a little bit less thorny, and working with the support of others is one of those ways. The Seven of Coins is linking up with the King of Coins for me. So there's like, this is very much about like you've done a lot of work already. Kind of like don't give up now. The next step would be the Eight of Coins, which is like showing up, going to the grind and doing the hard work, going to the library, checking out those books, showing up at 10 a.m. every day to write from like 10 to 11 a.m., something like that. That's going to bring you from the Seven of Coins to the Eight of Coins and ultimately to the Nine of Coins, which is your achievement, your sense of being self-made. And then beyond that to the King of Coins. You're really meant to walk this path towards the King of Coins. That is your life path here. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's just part of that challenge of the path meant for you to overcome, because this is in your destiny. This is in your path that you're meant to walk towards. And I feel like you've been struggling. You've been questioning if you're meant for this. And that is meant for you to overcome that fear as well, to really claim what it is that's yours in this life. I'm going to pull another, okay, there you go. Oh my gosh, I love this card for you. It says to overcome, you first have to climb, number 37. To overcome, you first have to climb. This really echoes that same message, right? Like, there is some big hurdle. It's not just the big task that's overwhelming you, it's the overwhelm itself that you're being challenged to overcome at this time. And so, step by step, this is how you do it. It's not leaping over 10 steps at a time. It's going very slowly, step by step. I want to read the message, the description for you, because I think it was it would be pretty relevant. I kind of remember what it says. So it says, fear is heavy and has been pulling you down. Oh my gosh, so true to what we've been picking up on so far. So now is the time to lift your thoughts and lighten your mind by focusing on the good things you have experienced thus far and the brightest prospects still to come. The good things that have happened thus far and the brightest prospects yet to come. The guardian spirits want you to become lighter, and you can do this by overcoming the obstacles that are preventing you from achieving your goals. By working on your fears, you can remove dark and fearful thoughts from your mind and light the path ahead of you. Once you see clearly, you will realize that success is just around the corner. The light mind rises higher and sees more because it has lost the fear which once caused it to be tied down. So wonderful that you're getting that, and look, you're really stepping into that success point, into the light. You do overcome this. You're just kind of going through a little bit of a tough time, the stuck energy, some blockage obstacles. But your message is clearly coming through to say that you are on a direct path towards your dreams. Keep going on that path. Whatever movement, no matter how small, it's enough to break that inertia. It's enough to make it not exist anymore. So whatever you can think of, the smallest possible starting point that you can think of, go ahead and do that. That's your message from the moon. And you just need to kind of check in and keep doing that day by day. Smallest possible point forward. And that's your complete message. And I'm wishing you so much love on that journey and hoping you continue to work with love as well. Thank you for any likes, shares, subscribes. Thank you always for sharing your energy on this channel for me to read the cards. If you are drawn to another card in the pick a card section, I will see you in that reading. And if not, I'll see you next time. Hi, reading 3. So we're asking a message from the moon, whatever comes through, and you were drawn to this card number 18, Pink Honeymoon, Soothing Hurt and Inflammation. And I was going to take a little break as I was setting up for this reading, but the messages just started coming right in, so I just pressed record and here I am. And the first things that I noticed was well, first of all, this card has been coming up in like every reading I've been doing with this deck. So there's something very key about right now, and the message here was soothing hurt and inflammation. Something kind of really being able to go down with honey and heal. And I'm thinking of honey as like having anti-inflammatory, but also antibacterial properties. So there might be some kind of inflammation and bacterial thing going on with your body, and definitely not diagnosing anything. So if you want to follow up with medical advice, that would be advisable. But yeah, that's kind of a message coming in. Second, well, the first message was music. So it's making me think of two songs, two older songs. So first would be Pink Moon. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting. I think it's Nick Drake. Pink Moon by Nick Drake. And there is such a thing as a pink moon, which I believe happens in the springtime. And the second song is I forgot the name of it, but it's Neil. Oh my gosh, forgetting all my music. It's the song Harvest Moon. On this harvest moon, Neil. Oh my god, you'll be able to find it if you Google that. But the harvest moon happens around harvest time in the fall. So this is the message that I'm getting. Beyond if those two songs are significant to you and the message is there, is that there's something significant happening between the springtime to the fall time. So I'm operating on like northern hemisphere sense of seasons. So that would be around like March to even to the end, almost the end of December. Technically, is still fall. Sorry, I just kind of was picking up something. Yeah, so there's something in the span of 6 months in particular, it could be from spring to fall, that is key in the cycle here of healing your body, specifically healing some kind of inflammation and bacterial thing that's happening. And I feel like it could be something that you're ingesting or something that you're exposed to in your environment that kind of keeps reintroducing this bacteria to you. Yeah, and it's kind of just like a low-key thing that's kind of like putting pressure on your body, your system. It's not like a major illness or anything like that, but it's just like one of those things that are kind of hovering around there that you can be released from, which is your message from the moon. It's all about physical health coming in. And I'm actually going to read this description for you, see what we get from that. So, the key concepts here are soothing, cooling, loving, accepting, healing inflammation, deep healing. Whether you have a chronic issue with inflammation in your body or notice it occasionally after eating certain foods or exercising, this card comes to you with a message of ease, healing, and cooling. Even our minds can feel inflamed at times. Repetitive or obsessive thinking can make our brains feel overheated and in need of cooling and rest. Bringing our awareness to the parts of ourselves that need soothing is a loving act that we can do anywhere, anytime. This card comes to you with the message that you deserve to rest and rejuvenate. Honey has healing properties and has been used for centuries to heal injuries and inflammation. Allow the healing power of the pink honey moon to soothe your hurts. This is interesting. So I kind of got a messaging here for alternative or traditional medicines. So if, say, like something like traditional Chinese medicine that kind of focuses on like body heat, which is like kind of defined slightly different way, or other medicines that kind of focus on something like that, where like identifying where the heat, which might be inflammation in your case, is coming from in your body, and like and focusing on those areas to heal in an alternative sort of way. So you might look into alternative medicine for this. I mean, it could also be like herbals that would help kind of soothe the inflammation. I know that hibiscus tea can help with inflammation, and chamomile tea as well, things like that. Especially with the sense of spring and harvest. Yeah, it might be something that grows seasonally that would be helpful to you. This might already be on your radar, so it would be a confirmation to kind of go ahead and try that thing. It might also be something that you haven't thought about yet, so you might want to like investigate into alternative medicines and soothing something that's kind of going on within you, that these things kind of sneak by in like a hospital or Western kind of medicine. Like sometimes they're not enough to like get some kind of diagnosis. Say if you have like a food sensitivity, right? And there's no real diagnose, or yeah, there's not, it's not like a diagnosis in the way that food allergies are, but it's still something that like affects your health and like and spreads inflammation throughout your body. But we're not always made aware of it because it's not something that shows up on your as something you need to check out medically all the time. I mean, more and more people are getting their food sensitivities checked out, but it's more of like a privilege to be able to do that. It's not standard health care. But there are other things that like are not on people's radars at all. Thinking of like SIBO, I think it's CIBO, kind of like digestive condition that has to do with like gut health and the imbalance of actually bacteria there. Yeah, the like the good and the beneficial and the non-beneficial bacteria. That might be why that message of bacteria is coming in here. Yeah, so alternative sources of information as much as alternative medicines, and also gaining information from people who may not be medical professionals but have gone through their own journeys of healing themselves. So these might pop up as like podcasts or books. People have compiled their own knowledge of their own healing journeys. That's coming in as something that would be helpful for you and whatever you're dealing with right now. I'm going to pull another card from this deck to see how that rounds out this message, I'm actually getting two. So nourish, feeding the sweet animal of your body, number 6. Oh, and she has a cup of tea. Yeah, there must be something key here with herbs and having tea. And then I also felt this one. Wild energy, focusing your creative power, number 13. Wild energy. So I'm just looking up nourish really quickly. I want to see if they mention any sort of like herbs or flowers here. Okay, I want to read the creative visualization from nourish. It says, close your eyes and imagine that a kind witch is creating a soup. She's cooking it over a fire. The witch can sense in your body what you need the most for nourishment. It could be certain foods, love, connection, belonging, purpose. Whatever she senses, she is ready to create the most perfect soup for you and your sweet body. It's making me think actually of like healers who work, or like alternative healers. Alternative medicine healers. The witch nods knowingly and reaches for ingredients behind her. Watch as she pulls jars off a shelf and begins tenderly adding ingredients to the soup. Yeah, it's really about some ingredients that you're missing, but another person will be able to identify it. The soup is so potent and full of nourishment. It's been designed just for you. Yeah, there's a solution that has to be very crafted specific to your body, specific to your needs. She spoons a big bowl of it for you, and you reach out and feel the bowl in your hands. It feels so warm and comforting. Imagine yourself sipping the soup, and you feel it going down your throat and spreading throughout your body. You feel the nutrients down to your cells. Your body relaxes, knowing it's getting exactly what it needs at this moment. Yeah, so there also might be some kind of nutrient deficiency happening for you too. And there are some common ones, like I know vitamin D, basically like we're all deficient in vitamin D. And so if you don't take supplements yet, you might kind of like investigate that. That one, I think you could go to like a nutritionist or a dietitian or a doctor as well. Yeah, something in the nutrients as well. This is like yeah, kind of multi-layered with your body, but it all is all on the theme of your bodily, your physical health. The bacterial balance, the inflammation, the nutrients. And then so wild energy, I'm actually feeling this as like eating more natural foods and maybe even like foraging for natural foods as well. That's what I'm picking up on the message for this card. So if you live in an area where you're able to do that, or you're able to like buy more fresh fruits and vegetables, buy from a farmer's market, that's going to like give you power. That's going to give you energy in a lot stronger way than something from a supermarket. I mean, this is just coming specifically for your advice. Yeah, so interesting that the moon is trying to kind of focus on your physical health. So I'm gonna pull now your tarot message cards. So what can our reading 3 be guided by from their message from the moon about their physical health, nourishing their body, caring for the hurts and the inflammation that's going on for them. I'm looking again at wild energy, and I got a message about brain fog and this helping to clear brain fog for some people. Okay, so I got 2 natural breaks, and then it came out with this cluster of 4 cards, which I was planning to draw 4 cards anyways. So I'm going to take these 4. So you have 2 of coins, Judgment in reverse, the Chariot in reverse, and Strength. I sometimes have interpreted the Two of Coins as a hormone imbalance, trying to balance out hormones. Um, More broadly for you, it is there is something that's out of balance in your body. So it really could be some kind of chemical or hormonal type of imbalance that's going on here, which is very typical nowadays for a lot of women and possibly for men too. But I would kind of I'm more familiar with women's health and hormone imbalance, so that might be another direction for you to look. I mean, they could definitely all be connected. Something I had to learn was that the food I was eating, like sugar especially, actually disrupted my hormones that are in my menstruation cycle. It's not just specific to me. It's something that happens with a lot of women, and so um, it's something that can lead to further kind of like disruptions in reproductive health. But it's one of these things, like I was saying before, that isn't quite a diagnosis, but it is something that can be picked up on and kind of redirected early on. And that's kind of what I'm feeling as I touch the Chariot card. Um, Redirecting something big in your life, something that you feel like the fate is sealed on. Like maybe you do have something going on with like your reproductive health and trying to get pregnant, and you feel like it's not happening and your fate is sealed on this. Paying attention to your body is going to redirect the flow of that path. Just basically, like, yeah, if you do find ways to heal the inflammation, the bacterial thing, I think it's gut bacteria, nourish yourself from nutrients you are deficient in, focusing on fresh foods, maybe even wild foraging foods. That's going to help you balance your hormones. That's going to help reverse this sense of doom that you've been encountering with the Judgment in reverse. The Chariot is like a life. I see that as like a life path. You feel like this path is closed to you, you're doomed to it. It's going to open it again. And this is a key life lesson for you to gain this strength, this mastery over your own physical body, your own health. Being able to stand up for yourself, to care for yourself, your physical self, is a huge strength that you're developing at this time on your life path. So I'm going to send you off with one Healing Spirits card. And so you're getting Be Like Your Spirit Guide, number 16. So I'm getting this to mean like follow your spirit guide's lead. It's almost like if you're familiar with the idea of drafting, like in a race, like in a bicycle race, like one person will go behind the other cycler to draft and like kind of catch the void of that airstream. It's kind of like your spirit guide. You can draft your spirit guide in some way. I would, with the phrase "be like your spirit guide," I would think of it this way, like thinking of your body as a temple, like getting very spiritual about your physical self, as if you were your spirit guide inhabiting your own body. What would your spirit guide do? It's kind of like that. You don't have to think of it all on your own. You just have to kind of emulate, like, what would your higher self do? What would your spirit guide do if they were in your body? You know, it would be much more spiritual. They would treat it like a temple. They would like take care of it in that way. I think that's helping you to kind of rewrite some information that you've learned about taking care or neglecting yourself, let let your North Star, let your compass be your spirit guide in this instance. And this is number 16. So I'm gonna pull the card and the description and read that for you as we end off the message. It says, "This world can be full of judgment and jealousy, and it is easy to get dragged into problems that are not your own. Remember that you have a true friend in the spirit world who only wants the best for you and who will guide you away from such negativities if you allow them to do so. When you are between a rock and a hard place, do what your guide would do and lead by example. Your guide is showing you that you can rise above petty things and bring more spiritual action to the situation. You are bigger than this." Yeah, it's making me think actually of like balancing out what's going on for you in the physical world and the immediacies of your life, and being able to like rise above and focus on the bigger picture. So say that like you are experiencing a lot of stress in your life, maybe at work, maybe in your family life, and so you cope by like eating junk food or drinking. um, this message is kind of like helping you, as it says, rising above petty things to bring more spiritual action to the situation, helping you to kind of see the bigger picture of like what's going on with your body, what's going on with your health. It's not nothing. It's really adding up into the situation that you're in right now. And so, but that also means there's a way to kind of stop that direction, like here with the chariot, and redirect for in service for yourself. And that's what the message is from the moon for you at this time. And that's your complete reading. So I'm wishing you so much love on that journey and hoping you continue to work with love as well. Thank you for any likes, shares, subscribes you can offer. And thank you always for sharing your energy on this channel so I can read the cards. If you're drawn to another card in that pick a card section, I'll see you in that reading. And if not, I'll see you next time.